And you still remember the moment with your angel? I think that's so cool.
He looked Mom probably told you, but he looked really shocked. He was like, oh, crap, she caught me.
A surprised angel in this episode of Touched by Heaven, Everyday Encounters with God. I am your host, Trapper Jack. Seeing angels, a couple of people on this episode who have seen angels, one a 6-year-old, one an adult who had an encounter to the point of communication and travel. Also the power of our angels' prayers on this episode of Touched by Heaven, Everyday Encounters with God.
Belief in celestial beings is a carryover from mankind's ignorance and fear of his environment. Originally, man worshipped the sun, the moon, stones, trees. But with the rise of religion as we know it today, man felt the need of a closer alliance with the supreme being, and so he invented the angel. Invented? Precisely.
From the original Angels in the Outfield movie, 1951, then of course updated in the 1990s. Angels, just an invention. God's first creation. Think about it, billions of years ago. This was billions of years ago. They've been around a long time, and yet no pictures of angels with walkers. Just saying. There are those, I think a couple of angels reported living off their 401ks at the Village's retirement community in Florida. Just a couple, for the most part. Don't you think it would just be the coolest job to be an angel, wearing that uniform? You know, I think you only get one. I don't think you're ever standing in front of the closet going, oh, I don't know, what fits? No bad hair days. You get the wings. You know, we think of, angels usually with the wings, because without the wings, they're Superman. They don't look as cool. You get food named after you. You know, everything was great for a while. Angel food cake. And then, of course, there had to be the temptation. Eating from the tree of chocolate. And then came devil's food cake. You always have that battle going on. Angels. They do amazing things. I recently, the gospel was Peter. This is where Peter was in jail. He's got guards on both sides of him. He's shackled. In comes the angel, shackles off. Get your clothes on. We're out of here. Cell door opens. Past another guard. Then the angel and Peter go to wherever they were supposed to go. Then the angel splits, and Peter goes, oh, this wasn't a dream. This wasn't a vision. This is real. This is real. I like to go to cbn.com sometimes, Christian Broadcasting Network. They have no problem at all in putting on some really cool angel stories, miracle stories, healing stories. Sometimes you'll see a video of, I'm picturing one where there was a couple that were, their car, they got in this fiery crash. The car was on fire. They were trapped inside. And then suddenly some guy comes out of the woods, out of nowhere, and pulls them out of the fire, and then just walks off. And they're like, who was that masked man? Or the time that like a little boy, he'll be drowning in a lake and suddenly he'll feel a hand, and the hand pulls him up out of the water, saves his life, and then gone. It's like, who was that? Where? What? Angels. Go back a couple episodes to the episode where my sister Joanne, fire everywhere. Her house is on fire. She's trying to come down this hill. Everything is on fire, and she felt totally guided by her guardian angel out of danger. Same episode, Camille Anter. She's on a mission. She's on a mission. She's going to go do something, and then suddenly she has just stopped and turns around and goes back. And we find out in that episode that it could have saved her life, kept her out of harm's way. Angels. The mind of an angel. The good guys are trying to influence us. They're trying. They're thinking things. Their mind trying to connect with our mind, praying for us, telling us things. And then we also have the evil influence in that mind also working on us. And every day there's that battle of going back and forth. Whose mind are we listening to?
Hello, this is Tina.
Hey, baby. How you doing?
Hey, Trapper, I'm great. How are you?
Tina Petrello Ingram and her daughter Angie on the line here, because Angie, now age 12, when she was about 5-6 years old, she had an angel encounter.
I think this is awesome what you're doing. I really do. I think, as many different stories that we can share about, experiences like this. I mean, I just think it really connects with people so that, people can then, further their own relationships spiritually,
Absolutely.
And so I talk to God and my guardian angels, and I talk to Jesus all the time. And it's like, I just know that minutes after, I can like physically feel it when they're talking back. And I love that feeling.
And you feel, and as an adult, you still feel it. You still know they're there, and
absolutely.
It's not just children's stuff. It's not from days of gone by. It's real. It's
right
here,
and
right now.
This was a really interesting story. So my older daughter is a very scientifically brained kind of kid. She's just beautiful, wonderful, and I'm trying to remember if she was about 5 or 6 years old, and we were talking about faith and talking about God, and she's pretty spiritual, but she had said, how do we know? How do we really know that God is there? And so I go through this whole dialogue with her about faith, and that night, as I was praying, I just said, God, I hope I'm saying the right things for her to understand. Please help me to say the things that she needs to hear. And the next morning, she gets up and she says, Mom, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw my angel. And I was like, what? So she explains to me that she had just woken up, and she vividly describes her angel, who was a man with big, beautiful wings, who saw her, was right next to her, and then she blinked and he was gone. But she said it was a really awesome feeling. He was right there. And I think he was surprised because he looked surprised that I saw him. And then he disappeared. And I thought, yeah, that's exactly right. That is your angel. And I asked God to help us figure this out. And I really feel that God, I don't know if it was God or the angel who put it out, they're all together in this. And so I just was pretty blown away by that. And she remembers to this day exactly what that angel looked like to her. I think she was she keeps talking about how beautiful the wings were. She's like, Mom, they were the most amazing, beautiful wings I've ever seen. And he was a bald man. Not that it matters, of course, but she's just like,
bald,
yeah,
really. He was
bald, yeah. Okay. I'm like, okay.
They all have their own look and personality. Yeah,
that's right. And I thought that is so great, And so I feel so grateful that she had that experience too. She gets very excited because I even brought it up and I asked her permission to share it with you. And she said, oh, yes, of course. Yeah. Absolutely.
Is she around by chance?
She's outside on this beautiful day.
Hey, kids don't even go outside. I mean, you have a kid that goes outside.
Oh, I know.
Amazing.
Isn't that crazy? Angie, hey, can I borrow you for a second? Okay. I am talking to my friend Trapper, and he's recording here, let me put you in the ear, or we could, okay. Or here, let's just do speaker. Okay.
Hey Trapper. Hey, Angie, how you doing?
Hi.
Good. You go by, is it Angelina or Angie, either way?
Angie, please.
Oh, excuse-moi. But very well. And you still remember the moment with your angel? I think that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were you surprised it was a guy?
Yeah, it was definitely surprising. I didn't understand what the heck was happening at first. Yeah. What happened?
I mean, I'm thinking that if I'm, you were what, 5 or 6 then? Is that the...
Yeah, probably 5 or 6.
Something like that. I'm just thinking that if I'm a little girl, I'm thinking I got a little girl angel. And so to have a guy, bald-headed guy with beautiful wings.
Yeah, it's strange.
Why were those wings so impressive to you? What was it?
They weren't open and flowing like most people perceive. They were back, but still kind of peeking out. They were beautiful. They were a kind of warm white, and they were just feathery, and they were beautiful. Yeah. Like how every girl imagines himself being an angel, just beautiful, luscious wings.
Was he our size, adult size? How big was he?
He was an adult, probably around 6 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's a big angel.
Mm-hmm.
And no hair.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. I love that. It beats a receding hairline look. Just go for the whole bald thing.
Sounds like my dad, no?
Now you're 12 years old, and had you not had that experience, it's just that most kids your age, you're kind of getting into that area where a lot of teenagers kind of fade away sometimes from the God stuff, and you'll never fade away. You'll always have that memory.
Mm-hmm. Definitely always is there to just remind me, when miracles happen.
Yeah, when you tell your friends about this stuff, do they believe you?
No, not really. They're usually oh, it's probably, just vision stuff, but it's yeah, it happened.
Yeah. Anything else you want to tell me about that moment?
He looked Mom probably told you, but he looked really shocked. he didn't look like, oh, such a sweet little, girl sleeping. Definitely not creepy. I'm just watching this little girl. She sleeps. He was like, oh, crap. She caught me.
Probably a direct quote from the angel. Oh, crap. Yeah. So he looks surprised. See what God did, though? God surprises angels, too, right? Yeah, yeah. Well, very cool. Very cool. I appreciate, Angie, you telling me your story. And thanks, Tina. This was awesome. I appreciate it so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Oh, I can't wait to see how this all comes together for you. And so happy to be a part of it, too.
Thank you. Thanks, Tina and Angie.
No one could see me but you, remember?
Hi.
Sit down already. I left in a hurry yesterday. I forgot a few of the rules. Numero uno, don't tell anyone about us. Now, I heard you already told the little kid in El Capitan, but nobody else. We hate recognition. We're a very sensitive group.
And I do believe the angel was surprised. I think God allows the surprise. The angels are not robots. I think we kind of tend to think of them as just kind of going through their day, kind of robotic almost. They do this, they do that. They're God's brain cells, as we talked about in the Blind Faith Live series, and they just go about their business. But you've got to have some surprises in your day too, right? So here's an angel just kind of going through the day, and I'm with my little Angie here, and whoa, she sees me. Just a little surprise, because they're not robots. They're not robots. Go back to episode 1, Dave Jackson. He's in his car and he's on his way to meet his girlfriend, and in his mind he's thinking, I don't know if she's the one or not. Then he hears an audible voice from the back seat saying, she's not the one for you. And it's so loud and so noticeable, he flips his head around like, whoa, who's in my back seat? And I wonder, for that angel, was that a surprise? Because angels, being minds, are always praying for us, always thinking for us, always trying to get us to go in the right direction with their minds, but they're not robots. My guess is, whoa, he heard that one. One of the most, I don't know if it's shocking or surprising to me. I'm not quite sure. It's in Luke's gospel. I think it's Luke. Jesus is in the garden. This is the beginning of the Passion, right? He's in the garden. He's sweating blood. He knows what's coming tomorrow, and he physically hates it. Who wants pain? He knows, but he's being driven by the Spirit in him that he has to do this. This is what I have to do. I have to die on that cross. And he's in the garden, he's in his agony, and it says, and an angel came to strengthen him. Think about that. An angel came to Jesus? Jesus needed an angel? This is Jesus Christ we're talking about. But this also says a lot about that moment in the life of Christ, as he has to sustain this horrible pain, not just physically, but also that pain of separation from his Father for the first time in his life, because he has to take all of this as a human being. This has to be a complete sacrifice for Christ, complete physical experience for Christ. And so an angel came to strengthen him. Anytime you feel you need strength, pray to your angel. One of God's brain cells, connected. Everything's connected. We're all part of the body of Christ, right? So praying to an angel is praying to God. Praying to a saint is praying to God. Praying to Jesus, praying to God. It's all connected. It's all one. So when you need strength, your angel is right there by you. And by the way, your angel's right there right now, Wherever you're listening to this, you have your angel right there looking at you, going, are you getting this? Are you following this? This guy is brilliant. Listen to him. No, your angel didn't say that. Did you see the smirk on his face? Eyeballs rolling. Telling you, eyeballs were rolling on that. But anyway, your angel is with you right now. Isn't that something? Think about that. Your angel is with you right now and always is with you and just loving you and trying to add that positive influence, that godly influence in your life. Pray for strength. Pray for more strength with the help of your angel.
Actually, let's come over here.
Yeah, take me to some place where it's quiet.
Okay.
Thank you. This is Meet My Dentist. This is Dr. Irene, and she was telling me a story about how the prayers of an angel can be extremely powerful.
How about right here?
This is much better. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Start over here.
Okay. So this is the story of my little grandson. His name is Alex, and he has been having some night terrors. But he's out of the age of having night terrors. They usually say, the pediatricians say it's 2 and under, and he's 4. And when he just gets up, he's screaming literally in terror. and he can't calm himself down to go back to sleep. When I mentioned this to my Bible study teacher, he said, immediately cover the baby with the blood of Jesus in a prayer and demand his guardian angel to be over him, to follow him, and to remove the room of any demonic influences, because he really felt he's very high in discernment, and he felt that this was kind of a little attack on him. And his dad is an atheist, and so of course he doesn't, believe any of this. Hocus pocus is how he puts it. But it's funny because every time my daughter Maria prays with him and covers him with the blood of Jesus and goes to bed, he sleeps throughout the whole night and puts his guardian angel up there to protect him. So that's my story.
So she kind of does that every night now when she puts him to bed.
Yes, and if she forgets to put him to bed,
forgets the prayer, you mean?
Or she hasn't put him to sleep because a babysitter may be there or something, he wakes up. It's amazing.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's a beautiful message. That's a beautiful message.
My name is Maggie Nelson. I take care of foster kids. One of these boys is the child who can see angels. He could stand up right now and tell you exactly what's happened. And I know you just laugh at him. But when a professional football player drops to one knee to thank God after making a touchdown, nobody laughs at that. Or when a pitcher crosses himself before going to the mound, nobody laughs at that either. Seems like you're saying it's okay to believe in God, but it's not okay to believe in angels. Now, I thought they were on the same team.
We are seeing angels in this episode of Touched by Heaven. Everyday encounters with God. There she is. What's going on? This happy lady, for the moment, is going to have to be a little bit of a mystery. We'll just call her the angel lady. She grew up in the East. She got into finance, and then she had an angel experience where she saw an angel and much more, which led her to a huge change in her life. I'll explain more in just a moment. But first, let's hear her story and her experience with an angel here on Touched by Heaven.
And I fell in love with banking.
Banking to angels. Wow, that's pretty good.
To angels. Isn't that crazy?
That's just crazy, nutty, wild. That's what that is, all right. So what year are we going back to for your story?
It's 97.
Okay. And what happened? What was going on?
From my childhood, I came from a really strong Catholic family. We said the rosary every night. We always thought we were going to be Fatima or Medjugorje, right? Like somehow this mystical event was going to happen to us as kids. So we would play in the field looking at the sky. Because who doesn't want that in life, right?
Who doesn't want to be visited by angels and Blessed Mother and all that stuff?
Exactly. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, what kind of dialect is you have?
I'm from, Utica is part of the Great Lakes region, right? So I really think I have more of a Great Lake effect in my dialect.
You have a Great Lakes dialect more than a New York dialect. I would agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree? Like when I try, because people want to think I'm from Fargo. And I am far gone. So I sometimes like say, I'm a Fargo girl.
That'd be the wood chipper.
That's right.
There you go. Little scene from the movie there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would say a little Great Lakes action there. As someone who lives on the Great Lakes, I hear it all the time.
So when I was in,
Okay, and this was in 90, as you said, 97? Is that what you said?
97.
Okay.
Because I got divorced 98. After the angel, boom. Major things happen. You get major shifts after you've been in a divine experience. I just didn't understand what love had to do with anything any longer. Because it always felt like you received something through true grit. Your hard work ethic pays off. The early bird gets the worm. All these ideas. And so as I was driving to a meeting, so I was going to be opening checking accounts at this meeting that I was going to. So I was going as a banker. I was hearing Tina Turner on the radio, her song, "What's Love Got to Do with it?" And this deep, like, agony of vulnerability in my car, crying and asking God, what does love have to do with all of this? Like, I don't get it any longer. I'm achieving, but it feels so empty. And people connect, but only surface. And, and so all these paradigms of what are you striving for? And is this world really about love? And so at the meeting afterwards, we went outside as a group. You take a break. As we were talking, we all commented. So it was about me and a group of 12 other people. So as we were watching, this group of birds flew overhead, and they flew in perfect symmetry. And we all commented on it as a group. And the birds then started to flow in a circle around me. And when I came back, everybody remembered that. So these beautiful, and it looked like it was around me. Yeah, it was big. You know what I'm saying? They're not like this tight little group, but they were. And then through that, an angel came to me through that field of through the birds.
Anybody else see the angel?
No, but what they saw, so I believe time stood still, because they saw me fall to my knees, and they saw me almost like, freeze form, that I froze. And I touched the angel, and the angel was 3D as you and me. I swear not. I could feel the fabric that was silkier than silk. I could feel the texture of the wings. And when so when I touched the angel said to me, "All is well." And then it was like telepathy, or I'm like a viewmaster. You know how you do those viewmasters?
Yeah.
I was shown imagery in my mind about events to come, not to do prophecy, but to remember that the angel was real. And then I was took to heaven. So my physical body wasn't. Because everyone said I just stood in place, right? It was almost like I was frozen. They were like, "Who are you for that?" You know what I mean? Couple seconds.
Were you, you said stood. Are you still on your knees, or were you now standing?
Yeah, no, I stayed on my knees, because afterwards they thought I tripped.
Okay. So to them, you were only on your knees momentarily.
Right.
Okay. But to you, this seemed to last how long?
Oh, I would say more than a minute.
Okay. All right. So you spiritually were taken to heaven, and what happened?
Heaven, and I saw heaven, which is all love, profound love, like energy of love in motion, and where everyone is there and united. So there's a oneness. I felt deeply the energy of love and oneness.
Did you see anybody you knew?
I saw, like, I want to say it was like, they reminded me of stick figures, right? It was like more imagery of people I knew, and even people I didn't really like, they were there. And I was like, dang, in my head, right? Like, you made it to heaven? Wow.
Stunning. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I had to do in my head, I remember doing like a double shake, like, oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
But it wasn't like they were forms, right? But you could see they're almost like how you see someone out of the corner of your eye.
You knew who they represented. If it wasn't
right.
them, they were represented there somehow. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Or their souls, their spirit, whatever it was.
Whatever it was.
Okay.
And I just knew from that moment, God is profound love. Like there's no duality in heaven. It is just love.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, then I came back to my body, and the angel said that you have a contract to share our boys, and you will be gifted a baby girl. So at that point, I had 3 boys, and I really, really wanted, like my heart really wanted a girl. And so I had my baby girl about a year and a half later after the angel.
Okay. What else did your angel seem like a man or a woman? What was it?
It was a woman.
Okay. And as we know, they're not actual genders, but just kind of, I think it just helps us. It helps us understand what's going on.
It really helps us. And the colors of magenta to light pink was all through the silk of the dress and through the wings. So it was a very like gentle love energy field. Even the magenta was still like, it was vivid but soft at the same time. And I was blown away by the spectrum of how at different, like when I was being brought to heaven, the color, this was just like northern lights. I remember just being like, felt like hugged by the angel being taken, and just the vivid, just that depth of color was taking me there. So it was just a beautiful memory field.
Colors you hadn't seen before?
No, I haven't seen the way a color can be vivid and soft at the same time, because it's like lightning or what is that? Laser energy, because it felt laser like but soft, and the pinks were pink but not the way we would color here. So a whole different spectrum.
Okay. How tall was your angel?
About, I would say 10 feet tall. Like she was tall, big.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Eyes. Anything about the eyes?
The eyes, they were deep, but it was a deep blue. Cobalt blue, because I love that color now.
Now, after the effect of the angel, now you like that color. Okay.
I take it on.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful face.
Beyond what we consider, classical beauty, but beautiful, even more sculpted in a way that we would have. We only hope to get there as an artist, right? Do you know what I mean? Like I look at Michelangelo stuff and the carvings or how people paint, and there's still a level more of how God's beauty is. Does that make sense? We haven't yet achieved that full beauty that relates to.
Yeah, there's a perfection there, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come back with this knowledge that heaven it's all love.
Right.
And you come back with a knowledge you're going to have a baby, which you did.
Which I did, yeah.
Any other information passed on to you just to kind of maybe verify with others or what? Sometimes I think they do this just so that others are, fortified.
Fortified. Well, the people around me, when I came back, instantly circled around me. So 12 people, you know what I mean? And asking, are you okay? And I couldn't speak. And I was shaking because, again, the re-entry into my body, I didn't want to re-enter. No, not that. Also, what happened when I came back was all of my psychic energy just blew up. And so the angel happened on a Saturday. So Monday when I went to work, so I was an assistant manager at the bank, I saw somebody and I was talking to them about their mom. And she said, no, my mom died a week ago. And I said, no, your mom is here. She's right there. And my whole teller staff just like froze because they're looking at me and they're like, there's nothing there. And I said, no, there's a person right here. And I know it's your mom because she's telling you that you have forgotten your money to buy food, buy groceries. She wants you to go home. And the lady was like, no, my mom just died. So my teller staff and I kept working there, I think, for 3 months. And they all became kind of really scared around me. I had this gentleman who was going to rob our bank, and I knew it. So I made friends with him. So he robbed the bank across the street. And so when the FBI came to talk, I picked him out, of course, in a lineup. And they're like, well, how did you know? And I said, because I read it in his energy. I read him. I read in his field he was going to rob our bank. So I had to make a statement with the police and everything.
Would you say your personality has always been this? I mean, you're just obviously you're filled with joy and everything. Was this true before the angel? Just kind of your natural? No,
I was very melancholy and very serious because I was yearning. I knew, like, I had a lot of intuition growing up, but it was frowned upon because my mom, you know what I mean, at our church, it was considered a sin. And so it was really hit out of me not to be with the angels or to have this freedom to express my intuition.
Is your angel still around?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But again, after the angel, my life changed because with my intuition, it was so strong that I needed a way to understand how to hone it, to use without scaring people around me.
Did you leave Catholicism behind? Are you incorporating it?
I incorporate it because I love it. I love to be in Catholic, our family. I love the mystical experiences I had at church when I was little. And I think there's a profound rhythm. Like, so I still say the rosary every day. And because everyone's like, wow, you meditate so easy. And I was like, because our family said the rosary every day. It's a form of meditation.
And what do you think, what impact does the rosary have for you?
It allows me to have this alignment in all the phases of reality. So we all have joyful mysteries of our life. We all have sorrowful mysteries of our life, and we all have glorious, right?
I'd been talking to our mysterious angel lady for, 45, 50 minutes or so, and I asked her a question. Is there something you're supposed to tell me? And she paused, according to your angel, for quite a while. And then she said this.
Relax for the course that has been paving for you is more solid than what you can know at this moment.
About 15 or 16 years ago, I got this very clear message about where my life is headed, the purpose I am to fulfill. And the way it was phrased was a little mind-boggling. It was, I could understand the realm of what I was to be doing, but just the magnitude was a little overwhelming. And during that same time, for a period of several months, I was also allowed to experience some certain things that, a little taste of also that ninth inning. Just I got a little bit of the ninth inning. And then I was put back into the second inning. Sorry about the baseball analogies here, but it's the best I can do. Then I was put back into the second inning and told, go play the game, which I've been doing. I don't know what inning I'm in now, maybe the sixth. I don't know. I'm not really sure here. But recently, very, very recently, I've been getting this push that to do something that fits very nicely into the seventh or eighth inning. It kind of like makes sense. And then I can kind of go, yeah, that could kind of fit into the ninth inning. Okay, so as I'm talking to Mystery Angel Lady here, she starts bringing up some things that I've been thinking about that fit into that seventh, eighth, ninth inning picture. And so it kind of blew me away a little bit. But as I told her, I said, I can't, I'm not going to air that part of the conversation. She said, I'm good with that. She said, I said, I may never air any of this. Maybe this is just for me. And she said, I'm good with that too. I'm just here to serve God. But as time goes on, because she gave me some certain time frames and locations, some very specific things that if they play out, then I certainly want to play that for you down the road. But until it kind of proves its way out, and she went, I am totally clear with all that. Whether you air it, don't air it, it's fine. I'm just here to do what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to leave the conversation there for right now. I'm just going to leave the conversation there, and down the road, come back, and if things do pan out, I will play for you the rest of that, and then I'll tell you more about her and all of that. Okay? Cool. So there you go. And I think that just about wraps up our guests here this week on Touched by Heaven, Everyday Encounters with God.
You can call it faith. You can call it angels. You can call it whatever you want. That's all I have to say.
And now turn to your angel and say thank you. No, the other way. He's over on the other side. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And your angel is there talking to you, guiding you, strengthening you to face your day. Be sure to thank your angel. And I thank you for listening and helping us out financially through Patreon. Go to touchedbyheaven.net and become a patron. Would you be so kind? I appreciate it. Also appreciate you rating and reviewing inside your podcast app. That way other people find out who we are, where we are, and all of that as well. I think that'll wrap it up. And I'll see you next time on Touched by Heaven, Everyday Encounters with God. I'm Trapper Jack.
You concentrate on your own life now. We expect great things from you, kid. We'll all be watching. Remember that. Even though you can't see us, we're always watching.